I'm gonna read one of the questions that somebody sent that is not that didn't connect today. What do you think about Alexander Pruss' argument against simultaneous or instantaneous causation that he postulates with his judge analogy? So Alexander Pruss gives this analogy of a judge against causation, and he says this: suppose that instantaneous causation is possible, then the following are composable characters: a judge who instantaneously stamps death warrants, and the executioner who executes the person listed on the warrant in such a way that the very instant that the death warrant is stamped, the person is dead. Moreover, the executioner takes no orders from dead people. She only executes people if the judge was alive at the instant the warrant was stamped, and she executes no one else. There is no metaphysical absurdity if the judge stamps a warrant for your death. There's merely an injustice. But what if the judge stamps a warrant for his own death? Then instantaneously the executioner executes the judge. But then the judge wasn't alive to stamp the warrant as if he stamped posthumously. Then that doesn't count. But with no warrant stamped, the executioner didn't do anything, and so the judge both is and is not executed, which is absurd.
Yeah. I've never encountered this paradox before, but just reacting off the top of my head, what jumps out at me is that this is not an argument against simultaneous causation. It's an argument against instantaneous causation. And there's a huge difference there. He's arguing that causation isn't at an instant. Now, I don't even believe that instants exist, and certainly no sort of process or event takes place at an instant. So, for example, killing someone is not instantaneous. It always takes time, even if it's just a few seconds. And so I'm untroubled by this argument against things occurring at an instant. I think we can accept with equanimity the idea that instantaneous causation doesn't occur, and yet still accept the idea that simultaneous causation occurs. For example, that two events happen in the same second or in the same half second or something of that sort. But we don't need to be committed to saying that cause and effect are instantaneous.
Other than the death analogy of instantaneous and simultaneous causation, is there another, maybe another example that you could give so to clarify the difference between instantaneous?
Well, instantaneous means that it takes place in zero time. An instant is a point. It's like a geometrical point, except it's a point of time. It has literally zero duration. And so no sort of event, no sort of change can take place in an instant because it literally has zero duration. So to give an example, when does someone win a race? Well, he wins the race when he crosses the finish line. And that will always take some amount of time. It's not in an instant that you cross the line. So these are examples of ancient Greek paradoxes that are called Sorites paradoxes, which have to do with infinite divisibility and composition. For example, when does someone leave the store? Well, there isn't any instant at which a person leaves the store, because in that instant, he's either not crossed the threshold, in which case he's still in the store, or if he has crossed the threshold, he's already left the store. So it's impossible to find an instant at which a person leaves the store. It will always be an interval of time that has some finite value.